Hey guys, this is Jules. Just want to share with you guys something that I made for my mom for Mother's Day. This is a gift set that I put together for her. And if you're interested in knowing how I put this together, I did record myself as I made this, but not the other two things. And the tutorial is coming up now. And this is the jewelry box lid die cut from my custom cameo die. And I'm just going to cover both sides with some graphic 45 paper. One side with the Once Upon a Springtime paper, and the other side is the Romantique. So I'm using my Scotch quick dry adhesive for this, and I'm using some very precision small blade scissors to get as close as I can to the edges, cutting the excess, and then I use an emery board at an angle to shave off the excess. That just gives it a more unified look when you are covering your die cuts. And there's the other side. Again, just going to cut it out and then use my emery board again once I trim up or trim off the little excess pieces. So now once it's done, I went ahead and grabbed this floral lace fabric that I have over on my blog that I sell, and I cut out the same shape of the jewelry box lid and glued down all the edges. I typically just add glue on the solid design, that way it doesn't show. So there it is. So I cut out the large cameo base and lined it with some crocheted lace that I have in my store also, that's for sale. And I'm just gonna hot glue it down. And I totally forgot that I was gonna add some lace underneath it across the top in the center, and I forgot and had already glued this piece down, so I had to improvise. And I just cut little pieces of the lace that I'm using, and I just added on to the side by just cutting little pieces like this, putting it together, and I'm tucking it under the lace that's not adhered all the way down. So just a little bit of hiding room. So I'm just lining it up. And once I have it evened out, then I'll go ahead and just use my hot glue to glue it down. And to hide the seam of the two laces, I'm going to use some satin ribbon in an ivory color, creamy color, very pretty. Just to hide the seam, make it look like it's one whole piece of lace. So it ended up working out in the end for me. And once it's all glued down, then I'll just cut it off, cut the edges off, or the excess pieces that's sticking out. Just get as close as I can to the edges. And that's done. So here's a very small cameo base that I'm just gonna go ahead and put some paper down on it. And I'm using the same floral paper that I used for the jewelry box lid. And I'm just going to leave it there to dry. So this is some leftover trim that I have, and I just cut it up because it was a defective piece that I got. But I love this edge, and I cut the flowers that are that were attached to it to use separately. And you can see one there at the top left corner. So I just hot glued the entire trim down on that side. And I just sprayed and heat set these flowers with some Lindy Stamp Gang spray, and I'm just gluing the leaves back up because I tend to peel them back when I spray them down. And I'm going to edge it with some distress ink that's called a Victorian Velvet, just to give a highlight of the petals. So I'm just going to do a couple of little bundles, just attaching the leaves to the flowers. And I'm not making a floral spray with this, I'm just doing a couple little bundles because I want to do sort of a small bouquet that will sit behind the small cameo piece. But I do have a tutorial on how to make floral sprays and floral swags. That's actually the video just before this one. So you can go back, you can go to my channel and see those particular videos. It's a two-parter. So this is some floral tape. I'm just going to go ahead and grab a couple of pearl sprays, actually 3 of them. I'm going to attach the pearls on this one here. A little bit of glue, and then again with the floral tape, the exact same way. Just creating a little tension, and I scoot it all the way up to the base and just wrap it around. And I ended up cutting down the stems because they were too long. So I cut them down about halfway so that they can sit nice and comfortably in the top corner there, just behind the cameo, the small cameo base. Very easy to do. So I'm using this white feather. I'm just going to glue that down separately at an angle there. And then I'm going to glue those two flowers down. I'm going to use a couple of flat pearls because on the vellum piece here where the prayer is at, you can see glue behind it normally, and I want to hide the little glue dot by using the flat back pearls. So one on the top, one on the bottom. And I've already adhered the little girl cameo onto the base and added crackle accents on top of her. So I just placed her there so I know where to glue down the flowers. And these are the flowers that were on that one trim that I put on the edge there on the right side. So once I place those down a little bit, I already knew that's going to kind of help me align my little cameo where I wanted. So basically at this point, I'm just going to start embellishing and adding my flowers to this piece, kind of just filling in little gaps. And of course, these are full size pearls that I cut to fit just on this edge. I wanted it for the dimension, and it also matched the pearl handle on the bag that I made for my mom. And this is a shabby chic floret that I left white, and I have those in my store too. You can buy them by 1 yard pieces and half yard pieces. They give a beautiful touch to your project. So I grabbed a small wild rose and I sprayed it down with the same Lindy's Royal Crimson Fire. Cut off the stem here, and I just glued it onto the very center of the shabby chic floret, kind of wiggling it to kind of settle the glue down into it and the little paper flower down to it. I started adding little small open roses. From all my flowers and leaves are from Wild Orchid Crafts. All the laces and trims that I used here are from my store, my blog, and the link will be below the video here. And this is a little small rosebud that I added to her hair. And I'm going to add another glue dot to the edge here to hold this part down. Since that's on vellum, I don't want it to tear or lift or anything. So I'm just going to tack down just a little bit of the just loose ends all the way around the wall hanging. So once that's done, I'm just going to add the crochet lace to the very top for so that it can be hung on the wall. And because the glue on the crochet lace, I don't like the way the glue looks, so I punched out 3/4 inch circles and glued them on top of this piece with the same paper that says Le Romantique to hide it. That's basically it. So here's the projects all done, and I'm sorry that I didn't do a tutorial for the rest of the stuff that I made, like the card and the bag, but I do have detailed photos over on my blog that you can head over and see all the little details. I don't think I mentioned, but I did add butterflies to the wall hanging from Martha Stewart, some butterfly punches that she has. And basically that was it. So I apologize that this is a little bit late, but I've been really busy with other stuff and hadn't been able to edit this video up until now, so I'm glad that I'm able to still put it up. So the post on my blog with the pictures and stuff has been there for a few days, so now I can add my video. But if you have any questions about anything, or if you're interested in any die cuts or some lace trims and stuff, you can head over to my blog, and on the right side we'll have a listing of everything that I carry. But the links to those specific posts are below. And so thanks for watching. Jule signing out of the Jule box. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.